darkness spread out before her, cold, suffocating, endless. Where was she? The void swallowed her whole, pressing against her like unseen hands, wrapping her in its merciless grasp. Her mind reeled, disjointed thoughts clawing at one another in desperation. Panic surged through her veins as she realized she could not feel her body, could not move, could not even draw breath. She screamed, or at least she thought she did. No sound reached her ears, no vibrations carried through the void. It was as if her very existence was being unmade, her presence dissolving into nothingness. She screamed again, pouring her fear into the black abyss, but still nothing. And then warmth. It crept over her like fingers trailing across bare skin, a slow, insidious heat that kissed her frozen flesh. It started at her toes, spreading languidly up her legs, each inch tingling as the warmth caressed her skin. It was not mere heat. No, this was something else, something far more intimate. The touch was like that of a lover, kneading away her fear, coaxing her surrender. Her breath hitched. Though she could not feel her lungs, she knew the sensation. The warmth slithered higher, curling around her thighs, her hips, teasing the edges of something deep inside her. A shudder of pleasure rippled through her. The fear, the confusion, the panic, it all began to dull beneath the decadent glow that blossomed within her. The void that had held her captive moments before no longer seemed quite so cruel. Then a voice, velvet smooth, dripping with seduction, each syllable a caress against her soul. "Come to me, child." A woman's voice. A shiver of unease danced along her spine, but it was drowned in the lingering pleasure that still curled through her body. She tried to resist, to pull away from the touch that threatened to unravel her, but it was already too late. A cry tore from her lips, one of protest, one of desperate longing, as a climax unlike any she had ever known consumed her. It was not merely physical, it was soul-deep, an unraveling of self, leaving her raw, exposed, and utterly vulnerable. The warmth did not leave her, it cradled her, soothing her in the aftermath, whispering of safety, of love, of belonging. Still all was darkness, but she was no longer alone. Who are you?" she thought, her own voice trembling inside her mind. The response came not only as sound, but as a sensation, wrapping around her, filling her, echoing through every fiber of her being. "I am Llothenia." The name was unfamiliar, yet it coiled around her like an old lover's embrace. She tried to gather her thoughts, to form words beyond the haze of pleasure that still pulsed within her. Where am I? Why is everything so dark? Why can't I move? The warmth curled tighter, a reassuring presence, a mother's embrace, a lover's promise. A subtle scent of ozone filled the space, hinting at a power barely contained. "You stand at the precipice of death, my sweet. Even now your body drifts, sinking to the ocean floor, claimed by the same depths that swallowed the ship carrying you. The salt stings your long-forgotten wounds, doesn't it? You are caught between life and the abyss, but I would offer you a choice." Panic clawed at her throat. No, this couldn't be. The ship, the waves, it was all a blank, a terrifying empty canvas where memories should be. She fought to steady her reeling thoughts. How? How did this happen? Who are you, truly? I think I know the names of the gods, but you are not one of them. A tremor ran through her, not just of fear, but of a nascent recognition, as if some dormant part of her knew this voice from a forgotten age. A ripple of amusement coursed through the warmth, but beneath it lurked something else, power, ancient, dark, and coiling like a serpent around its prey. "Once I might have taken offense at such ignorance," Llothenia purred, the sound a subtle hum against her skin, "but I will grant you this indulgence. Listen well, for I will only explain once." The hum intensified, almost suffocating, as her words became a flood of whispered knowledge. It was a song, a symphony that began to rewrite her very existence. "You believe in gods, child, but you know nothing of what we truly are. This world you call home is but a single thread in an endless tapestry. There are others, countless beyond measure, stretching through the vast multiverse. We gods do not merely exist here. We reign across countless realms. Our names number more than the stars in your sky. They are Odin, Satan, Ariok, Bast, Loth, Tiamat. Our names are as varied as the realms. But here, in this world, Amara and Set as you know them, betrayed me. The voice fractured, a rasp of shattered glass, and the hum dropped to a malevolent thrum. They coveted my ocean's bounty, tore the stars from my hair, and chained me to the abyss. They decreed I be forgotten, a whisper in the tides, nothing more. But before they could extinguish me entirely, I wove my final defiance. A veil, thick as the void itself, binding them, locking them out. I tricked them, just as they chained me, preventing them from truly interfering in the lives of mortals. A deep, trembling silence stretched between them, heavier now, laced with the scent of brine and regret. So now they watch from afar, answering prayers only when it amuses them, if they bother to listen at all. But I... A prickling sensation spread across her skin as if scales were forming beneath it, and something darker took root within her. I have found many other ways. She swallowed hard, forcing herself to ask the question that burned in her mind. Why me? What do you want from me? I hunger. The word brushed against her mind, a silken blade promising oblivion, and the void around them seemed to press closer. My prison is endless, a bottomless maw. My hunger is without end. I cannot escape it. But you can feed me, and I will grant you power. We gods need worshippers, but in this realm I have none. So you must feed me souls. Heat surged through her again, sharper this time, tinged with something raw, electric, and laced with blood. It coursed through her veins, turning her blood to liquid fire, flooding her limbs, burning behind her eyes, promising something intoxicating. Strength to carve her own path, dominion to reshape the world, the power to bend others to her will and break them. Then, as suddenly as it came, it vanished, leaving a trail of ash on her tongue. She gasped, feeling violated, as if a vital piece had been ripped from her. Her very bones ached with the absence of that intoxicating power. Llothenia chuckled softly. That was but a glimpse of what I can offer, a taste, child, of the dark feast that awaits. 1,000 thoughts warred within her. What had she been before this? Had she ever been anything at all? If the gods had abandoned her, why should she owe them anything? But Llothenia had been here. Llothenia had shown her warmth, had shown her something, and Llothenia had given her power. Her fear warred with a growing hunger of her own. But above all, she realized she had been given a choice. Not to drown and fade, but to become something more than she ever dreamed she was. A chance to carve her own path. A slow, dark smile curved her lips. I accept. The goddess purred in satisfaction. Then rise, my love, rise, my Daemonweaver. And the darkness shattered,